What is up, guys? It's your boy Lord Zed, and today I'm going to be talking about some tips and tricks to help you guys get better at Call of Duty and honestly to stay alive a lot longer. So one of the issues, and I know I keep saying one of the issues with the new Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is the amount of deaths you get. Like, I feel like you're dying every 5 seconds. So I decided to put together a video with some basic tips and tricks to help you stay alive longer so you don't get pissed off and frustrated like I did. But just to let you know, the gun I'm going to be playing with in this video that you're watching is the Rack 9 shotgun. This thing is vicious. So I'm going to talk for a little bit, then I'm going to let you guys go ahead and watch me ball out with this shotgun. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the tips. The first thing, man, these maps are so complex. These maps have so much going on, and I think that you know, in order to stay alive a lot longer, you've got to use it to your advantage. Truthfully, in this game, this is the one game I don't really consider people to be camping per se. I just consider them to be playing smart. And honestly, one thing you have to do if you want to stay alive longer is use the cover to your advantage. So if you see rocks, if you see walls, use the cover of the map to your advantage so you can stay alive longer. One of the things that you know, are great about these maps is, like I said, you got a bunch of corners, you got barricades, and just a lot of different things you can kind of wall bang people with, or, you know, head glitch on, which I know in other Call of Duties was considered very, very cheap and cheesy, and, you know, call those dudes sorry. But in this game, because the amount of deaths you'll get if you're not careful, if you don't use the cover to your advantage, it's totally okay. I don't get too mad when I see the tip of somebody's head or the very, very tip of their gun, because truthfully, these maps are so complex. I don't blame anybody for camping around and using the cover to stay alive. The second thing, and this is the one thing I utilize a lot, and you'll see me doing it in this video, I move around. The spawns are so bad and so unpredictable in this game, you know, and I'm sure they'll get better as time goes on. Because they're so bad, I have to keep moving. Honestly, in other CODs where you could camp and, you know, hold the position for a really long time, this is not like that. This COD has so many avenues, so many different areas you can go to get to one specific spot. So it's really, really hard to camp too much. I mean, obviously, if you have a whole squad and you guys are each watching one corner or one doorway, then you're fine. But if you're one man running by yourself, then you have to keep moving to throw off the enemy. Like I said, you'll notice that if you do sit around for maybe 30-45 seconds, you could be facing a corridor or a doorway. As soon as you turn around to look the opposite direction, somebody comes up behind you and blows your head off. So sitting around is probably not the smartest thing to do in this particular Call of Duty. So make sure you're moving around. Use the map to your advantage, use the cover to your advantage, and that way you can outflank your enemies, you can outsmart them, and like I said, you can prevent a lot of those annoying deaths where you're like, oh my god, they keep spawning behind me, oh my god, I just looked that way, you know, that type of stuff. Make sure you keep moving around. So the third tip, you need to explore and try out the different rigs. You know, I'm one of those guys that is guilty of finding a specific gun, or in this case, finding a specific rig that I really, really like, and pretty much only playing with that rig. There are so many advantages to each rig. Each one has a different set of perks, and, you know, some of them have guns, different things like that that, you know, change the whole scope of playing style and the whole scope of the game, honestly. So if you're not experimenting with the different rigs, then you're honestly selling yourself very, very short, and you're probably not going to maximize this game and, you know, play it to its full potential. So even though it's annoying, even though it might take a lot more time to figure out which one works best for your particular style, I would say the maps also come into play when you're finding out which rigs, you know, you like. But just make sure you experiment and try out the different rigs, and like I said, try them out on different maps, different environments, using different, you know, abilities, that type of thing. That way you can make an educated guess. But I'm not even gonna call it anything other than a guess at this point, but you can make an educated guess on what's gonna work the best. And my thing is, once this game gets to be a little bit older, Once they start doing some updates and stuff, then I think things will get a little bit more stable. But at this point, experiment, experiment, experiment. Find out what works best for you. And I guarantee you, once you find a few different rigs that you're able to cycle through based on the map, you'll stay alive a lot longer. And then the last thing, learn the different perks. Learn them. Again, this is a lot like with the rigs. You're going to find something you like. One of my go-tos is the Ghost. In this game, especially, I have to use Ghost because of all the UAVs. But I've started in recent games, probably in the last day or two, experimenting with different perks, taking off Ghost, putting on, Dead Silence, or, some of the other perks that I don't really use too much. Because again, because this game is so fast-paced, the spawning is so bad, there's so many different options of, combinations of rigs and everything. You have to try out the different perks to figure out what works best. There are a couple of guys I've played against that, had some weird-ass rig and weird-ass perk setup, but they were dominating me, based on the map and based on how their team was going to play and how our team was playing. They were able to switch it up and be very, very versatile. So I think that's huge. Making sure that you can, if you have a game where, for instance, you have a game where the other team is not getting a whole bunch of UAVs or anything like that, then there's really no point in putting on Ghost. You can throw a silencer on and, you're good. But if you have a game where they are using UAVs, then you'll have to put on Ghost and maybe Dead Silence. And like I said, I think you get my drift. Making sure you're able to switch it up, and use the perks to your advantage based on the map. I think that's what separates a okay Call of Duty player from an elite Call of Duty player. The ability to be flexible and versatile with the things that they do in terms of perks, in terms of rigs, in terms of attachments, guns. Just being able to switch it up. Don't be a one-trick pony. And I guarantee you, if you can utilize these 4 different things, so just to recap, making sure you learn and use all the perks and figure out which ones work best for you, experimenting with the different rigs and their whole loadout system. Keep moving. Don't just sit still. Learn the maps. My thing is, if you have a game where the opponents are pushing and you have to sit still, okay. But in most cases, you're gonna have to move around or risk being, killed, not camped, or risk being killed, having somebody run up behind you and blow your head off. So at least when you're running around, you have a fighting chance to win some gun battles until they fix the spawns. And then the last thing, use cover. So make sure you crouch behind those walls. Use the different barricades, run the different alleys. Again, use the map setup to your advantage because they're so complex. I think they can definitely be utilized to your advantage if you know what you're doing. Alright guys, well if you found these tips to be helpful, if you disagree with them, if you agree, whatever the case is, drop me a comment down below. Let me know which perks you like the most. Let me know which rigs you like the most. If you have any suggestions, all of that. Yeah, wow, and I made it through the whole video. Alright guys, thanks a lot. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Lord Zed out. Peace.